Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. My name is Kat and I make houseplant videos here on Good and Planty. If you just happened to absolutely love this video, please consider liking it, commenting, subscribing, or following me on Instagram. All of these things help me grow my channel like a plant. All right, it is officially winter and we have like the winter lighting going on. I am filming, it is pitch black outside. I am so upset. But to lighten things up, I'm gonna return to one of our favorite series here on my channel, and that is reviewing plant hacks on TikTok. I'm turning this off just in case you can hear the buzz. If you are new here, basically I go on TikTok, I go on the plant hack hashtag. I've kind of opened it up to other plant hashtags, but that'll be our little secret. And I watch them and I talk about them and I kind of say whether I think that they are good or bad tips. And this is all of my opinion and I don't want anyone to be mean to these creators. With that all in mind, let's just jump right into it. All right, first TikTok, here we go.
All right, everyone, I'm back with a couple of plant hacks that I think that every Monstera owner should know. Did you know that the splits in your Monstera leaves actually have a name? Yeah, that's right. They're called fenestrations. And these large splits actually have a purpose. These splits actually allow for light to get through to the leaves below. The brighter the light your Monstera is in, the more likely it will be to split. My next tip is to always mist. Monsteras come from the jungle, so naturally they love a humid environment. So misting can keep them happy and healthy. My next tip is to submerge the aerial root in some water. I do this with all of my Monsteras and they love it. Like this video for part 2.
Okay, she had me, but misting, if you're new here, I feel like every one of these videos I come across a misting tip. My official opinion on this is to not mist, actually, most plants, because it doesn't really do anything but potentially promote bacterial growth on your plants. If you want to raise the humidity, I always recommend going for something a little bit, well, a lot more reliable, like a humidifier or clumping your plants together or a pebble tray. I think misting is like all the way at the bottom of my humidity raising tips. As far as the aerial root thing, actually, I'm curious about that. If anyone has tried that and has a strong opinion on it. I have not tried it, so I do not have a strong opinion on it. So I'm curious what you all have to say. Honestly, that does seem like an underrated tip. I mean, obviously some plants I do keep in terracotta pots, but I do have a handful of plants that I do like to keep in nursery pots. And if you reuse takeout containers as nursery pots and add drainage holes to them, I think that they are actually an improved nursery pot. I think that's a good tip. I think it helps reuse Tupperware that you might get when you eat takeout. And if you want to buy fresh ones, I guess you can always buy, I think that they're like orchid pots. They're also clear and they have holes in them. So I feel like that's kind of mimicking what an orchid pot is. Good tip on my end.
Most houseplants are killed by overwatering. This means they're watered too often rather than too much. So here's a video showing you when your plant actually needs to be watered. First up, take a bamboo chopstick, place it into the soil and swivel. You're looking to see how wet the chopstick is. Only moist soil will stick to the chopstick. So here you can see that only the bottom 25% or so is wet, meaning the top 75% of the soil is dry. This is ideal because most houseplants like to dry out around 75% of the way between waterings. So I knew it was time to water. I bottom watered and 10 minutes later I went back to check the soil. Ideally, I like to keep the top layer of soil dry to prevent fungus gnats. So this is great, the top 25% remains dry. This is what works for me. Find your way.
That ending was really cute where she was just like, this was for me. It doesn't have to be for you. I think that's honestly most of plant care, so I do appreciate that. As far as the chopstick thing, that would not work for me. Personally, I just feel like I'd rather use a moisture meter at that point. If I'm already sticking something into the soil and taking it out, I would rather have the accuracy of a moisture meter. I've never had a chopstick read so clearly as that one did. Could be something that I'm doing wrong, but honestly, to each their own. If that's a method that you like, then this could be a way to enhance that method. But personally, if I'm already jabbing something into the into the pot, I'd kind of rather just do it with a moisture meter and also check multiple areas of the pot. That's just for me. Honestly, that's not that bad of a tip.
So I kind of screwed up my plant, and I thought it would be a good learning opportunity.
Oh my god, it's a succulent one. These are always interesting.
So I'm not kidding you, but 5 minutes ago, I picked up my succulent and all the leaves started to fall right off. After further examination, I realized my fatal mistake. Look at this leaf here. See how when I'm squeezing it, it's oozing water? This tells me that I overwatered him. Now, if you look at these succulents that I'm propagating, they're thriving. And there was a distinct difference in how I watered these compared to the other one. For these little guys, I've been using this water mister. Every morning, I spray it just like this a couple times till the dirt's soaked. On the other succulent, I was running it under the faucet, so it was drenching it. So what I learned is a little water goes a long way.
Okay, I don't want to come for this person, but I would say actually succulent care is pretty much the opposite. You should not mist your succulents. And basically, the way that she's doing it, she said she mists it every morning, and from what I know, that actually encourages a really weak root system on your succulents. And then on top of that, most succulents do not like to have water resting on their leaves. That also promotes rot. Instead, what most people really recommend you do, and I've had personally great success with, is letting your succulents dry out completely and then actually, yes, drenching that succulent with water. That way the whole pot is moist, not just this top layer, and the succulent roots can really go deeper into the soil instead of creeping around the top for moisture. And you're promoting a very healthy and deep-rooted plant. I always recommend to not mist daily, but instead let it dry out. They are very drought-tolerant plants, so you're gonna be fine. And then give it a very thorough watering. I also think what she's running into is that from the look of her soil, it doesn't look like it is airy and chunky enough. It looks like it's very peat heavy. I would recommend adding some more perlite or sand, something like that. Both of her succulents were in plastic containers, and one of them did not even have drainage. So for succulents, that's very important because you do want all of that water to just kind of flush through and not sit in the soil. You kind of want the water to sit there for just enough time for your succulent to drink up, and then the soil will dry out until you need to repeat that. I think that misting does work for succulents while you're propagating them, just in the very beginning, just to kind of keep them a little bit moist. But other than that, I would not bring a mister anywhere near succulents or most of your plants for that matter. I have a feeling I know what that TikTok was going to say, but I'm not sure. They teased a part 2, which I didn't watch. I do agree with this TikTok. You have to be careful with how you're top watering your plants. I think top watering is one of the most common ways to water your plants, which is literally when you just take the watering can and water from the top of the plant. So that's what most people do, including myself. There is a drawback to it. It's very convenient, it's simple, it doesn't have to be messy, but you're not always soaking the soil as well as you think you are, because sometimes your houseplant soil does get compacted, so the water will run over the sides. What I think that TikTok is gonna get at is either aerating your soil. So what that kind of looks like is, let's see. If you have a houseplant like this one, this is a Begonia Immaculata Whittii, you can take like a chopstick or something, or in this case, I'm just gonna use my finger for demonstration, and just like poke the soil and make little holes in it and move it around just to aerate it and prevent it from getting super compacted. That way when you water it, it won't run off the sides, it'll actually go through the middle. Another important tip for preventing that problem is to water a little bit, like drizzle a little bit of water just to get that top bit of soil wet and then slowly introduce more water. This definitely will extend your houseplant watering time for sure, because you're not just dumping a bunch of water in a plant and moving on to the next. You kind of have to be a little bit more methodical and slow and thoughtful about it, but it will ensure a much deeper soak for your houseplants. I absolutely recommend doing it if you can, but there are plenty of times that I don't do that and my plants are okay. That's a tip that I would really emphasize for plants in compacted soil, but for your average houseplants, just once in a while aerating them and trying to take watering as slow as possible is perfectly fine. All right, and that is it for today's TikTok video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any TikTok recommendations for the next episode of this series, please feel free to send them to me. I'm always down to incorporate some of the TikToks that you've seen or Instagram reels, whatever. I am on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please consider being a member if you want to join our private members only Discord chat. It's really fun in there. Please subscribe to my channel if you aren't already and you want to see more plenty content from me. Hit that notification bell, like this video, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Huge thank you to all of my members. Thank you to O'Neill, Val, Katrina, Audrey, Louie, Heather, _B, Jacqueline, Linda, Michaela, Brooke, Daniel, Vanessa, and Michelle. Thank you all so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.